She leaves them candies, cookies, and gifts. It is said that she is searching for the Christ child. There are many stories about old Befana and how she began her search. This is her story. In a small house in the outskirts of a small village in Italy lived old Befana. She lived all alone, and she wasn't very friendly. If any people dared to knock at her door, she never asked them in. "I have no time for visiting," old Befana would say. The children didn't like her either. "Cranky old lady," that's what they said. "And the way she's always sweeping." That was true. Every day, every morning and afternoon, old Befana would sweep with her broom. She swept her little house, she swept her front steps, and she even swept her walk all the way down to the road. Sometimes a delicious smell of things baking would drip from old Befana's house. "Whom does she bake for?" her neighbors would ask. And some nights, they thought they heard her singing lullabies. "Crazy old Befana," everybody called her. One evening, after old Befana had eaten her dinner and swept her kitchen clean, she began to get ready for bed. She locked the door and shuttered the windows. Then she climbed into her bed, blew out the lamp, and fell asleep. In the middle of the night, old Befana woke up. The room was bright. "How can that be?" she asked. "My lamp is out, my windows are shuttered, but still my house is filled with the light." She got out of bed and crossed the cold floor. When she opened up the shutter, a sudden burst of light poured into her room. In the eastern sky, she saw a brilliant star, which seemed to grow before her eyes. Said old Befana, closing the shutter as tightly as she could. "How am I ever going to get any sleep when the dark has turned to day?" All night she tossed and turned. She didn't sleep a wink. You see the big star in the sky that she saw? The big star in the sky that she saw? At dawn, old Befana got up and dressed. She ate her breakfast, then took her broom, as she always did. Every day, every morning, every afternoon, she swept her little house, she swept the front step, and she even swept the walk, all the way to the road. When she neared the road, old Befana stopped and listened. She heard bells tinkling. "It's probably just the wind," she said. "Sweep, sweep, sweep." Again she heard the bells. "It's probably just the birds singing. Sweep, sweep, sweep." Once more she heard the sound. "My old ears are playing tricks on me," she said. "Sweep, sweep." Suddenly, over the hill came the most glorious procession old Befana had ever seen. Camels and horses, elephants and people. A splendid sight. Halfway back rode 3 royal-looking men, dressed in jeweled robes, wearing crowns upon their heads. See, there they are, the 3 kings right there. The procession stopped, the 3 kings got down and came up to the crowning old Befana. "Please," said one of the kings in a royal voice, "is this the way to Bethlehem?" "How can I say?" said old Befana. "I never heard of it." And she began to sweep. "We are searching for the child," said the second king. "Do you know of him?" "There are many children," said old Befana. "But this one is the king," said the third king. "I know nothing of royal matters," she said. "Our books have told us," said the king, "that when a bright new star appears, the child king will be born in Bethlehem." "The star I have seen," said old Befana. "It kept me up all night. Now, if you will excuse me, I have work to do." The procession started up again. "Old woman," called a boy who was leading a camel, "you should come with us. This child, this baby king, has come to change the world. He comes for us. He comes for the poor. We are bringing him gifts. Old Befana paused. She watched the procession wind down the road. A child king, she muttered. Bethlehem, sweet, sweet, sweet. Coming to change the world? Coming for the poor? Well, heaven knows old Befana is poor. Sweet, sweet, sweet. Gifts? Only a child? Old Befana went back into her house. Perhaps I should go see him. But what do I have to take to him? She put down her broom. She got out some butter and sugar and flour. She blew on the fire and added some wood. And she began to sing. She baked all day. She didn't even sweep. It was almost dark when she finished. Then she filled a basket with all the cakes, cookies, and candies that she had made. I'll take a few coals in a little pot to keep the cookies warm, she said. She put on a shawl and opened the door. And I'll take along my broom to sweep the room clean, for the baby king's mother will be tired. Old Befana stopped. She hadn't swept all day. It won't take me long, she said. She put down the basket and began to sweep. She swept her little house. She swept her front step. She swept her walk all the way down to the road. Then she locked her door and gathered up her basket. She pulled her shawl around her and took up the broom. Old Befana was on her way at last. She ran at first, ran and ran as fast as her legs would carry her. The sun had set, but still she ran. Now the stars shone brightly. Her breath came short. Her old legs ached, but she still ran, a little bit slower. At last she sat beside the road. Old Befana could not run on the anymore. I should have left earlier. I'll never catch up, she cried. And where is Bethlehem? She closed her eyes and gave a long sigh. I'll never find the baby king. Suddenly the sky was filled with light, and heavenly angels sang, Glory to all men, the new king is born. Tonight is the night of miracles. Old Befana rose to her feet. Tell me, where is he? She cried, picking up her basket and broom. I bring gifts to the child. She began to walk, then run again. This is the night of miracles, the angels sang once more. Wait, she shouted, you must help me. Show me the way to Bethlehem. Old Befana began to feel lighter. She ran faster and faster, so fast it took her breath away. And she was running in the sky. It was a night of miracles. She was flying in the sky with her broom. See that, everybody? Old Befana never caught up, alas. She never found the child in Bethlehem, but she is searching still to this day. Every year on the Feast of the Three Kings, January the 6th, Old Befana runs across the sky. She visits all the children while they sleep and leaves them gifts from her baskets. Then she takes her broom and sweeps the room clean. For after all, says Old Befana, I never know which child might be the baby king of Bethlehem. And that's the story of Old Befana searching for the baby in Bethlehem. So now we're going to get together here. Everybody wants to come in, and we're going to learn how to say Merry Christmas in Italian. Everybody knows the song, We Wish You a Merry Christmas. How do you say Merry Christmas in Italian? Claudia and Audrey, they know how to say it, don't you? Buon Natale, right. Buon Natale. And you know how to say Happy New Year? Felice Anno Nuovo. And we all know how to say We Wish You a Merry Christmas, right? Okay, so now we're all going to sing We Wish You a Merry Christmas in Italian. So just follow me, everybody, okay? Hold on, come back. Ready? Here we go. And my Audrey and Claudia, my helpers, are going to help me. Ready? Buon Natale, e felice now. Auguri di buon Natale, auguri di buon Natale, auguri di buon Natale, e felice anno nuovo. Very good, everybody. Buon Natale to everybody. And we have treats. Yeah, does anybody want a copy of the story of the Befana? It's right here. Oh, wonderful. I flew in on my broom.
Thank you.
It's a magical broom, Grandma. You may need it. That's the story, but I'll read you the story.
No, Gus is here, but it got stuck in the food.
Okay, well, we'll read the story again, okay?
You want to see the street singing? It was.